Good evening.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Club Friday. As you are jumping on, we want to know...
You probably noticed we're not Larry and Taylor.
Yes, I should have said that. They definitely would not have realized that we're not Larry and Taylor. But we are super excited to be here tonight and co-hosting this with the fabulous Jocelyn. So as you're jumping on, guys, I would love to know, is this your first time? Have you just been introduced to this book club, which is hosted and run by the incredible Larry and Taylor Thompson? Or if you're a golden oldie, let us know where you're tuning in from, because we want to make sure and say hi to you. And also, if you're catching the replay, make sure and put down #replay, because I know that Taylor and Larry love to see everyone who takes the time out to listen to these broadcasts.
And also as well, I know as Taylor always talks about a little bit of housekeeping, if you're in a group and you're commenting, it'll only show us Facebook users. So click on the little link above in the description and it allows us to actually see your name so we can give you a shout out. Otherwise, we always see as Facebook user.
So for those of you who don't know us, my name is Mary. This is my husband, Seamus. I used to be a teacher and he used to be a carpenter before we got introduced to this incredible industry. So if you know someone who is in the network marketing profession, you want to hit the share button, because I guarantee you that the stories that you're going to hear tonight are going to have a massive impact on you and your business. And you may have someone that you're speaking to and they maybe haven't said yes yet, but by sharing this broadcast on your feed and them hearing the stories, that will be the moment where they decide that this is what I want to do, this makes sense to me, and how do I get involved?
And also one thing that we have really noticed since being a part of the Academy, reading the book, is how much this actually will simplify your business. And it's one of the main reasons a lot of people get into network marketing. They want to have that time freedom. But what can happen is we overcomplicate everything what we do. After a while, we get a little bit of success and we start to overcomplicate it. And what Larry and Taylor teach, it really simplifies everything. It's like they give you that beach money that you can build your business up, that you can actually take time out of it. And that's one of the biggest benefits that we have got out of it.
So we're going to bring Jocelyn up on the screen here now with us. And I am excited for, hey, Jocelyn.
Hey,
how are
Jocelyn.
you?
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Mary and Seamus, and I'm really excited to co-host with you guys tonight, because you have been a big inspiration for, myself and Ray since joining Larry and Taylor. So just to give you a little background, as I said, my name is Jocelyn. I am from Bournemouth, in the south of England, and my background is in fitness. So the reason why I got started with network marketing was two reasons really. One, unfortunately, I just lost my dad, and I always remember when he got sick, sat in the doctors with him when he asked him maybe what would have caused him getting sick, and when they said it was down to his bad lifestyle choices, I made a decision there and then that I never wanted the same to happen to myself and also the other close family members around me. So I wanted to make an impact in not only their lives, but also my own, and then the other people that I could hopefully help, around the world. So that was one reason, but also in fitness, I always found you had to be there all the time. Unless you were there in facing in front of clients non-stop, once you ran out of hours, the money started to slow down and the money started to stop. And of course, this was right at the start, before people were doing lots of online stuff and things like that. And I remember sat in the gym office one day thinking, like, I'm ambitious. I want more. I'm looking for something. There must be something more than hours on end in the gym. And also I thought, now that I've become a mum, I don't want to, and I didn't want to be in the gym early hours in the morning, late at night, missing those, trips, taking my little girl to nursery and putting her to bed at night. And with my job, that was going to stop me. And what network marketing has actually allowed me to do is choose when I can go to work. So for me, I stopped all personal training. I just concentrated on teaching classes because that's the bit I love. But I now choose when I go to work, because this has given me a full-time income when I only work our business part-time.
Incredible.
So that's just a little bit about my background. But I actually got introduced to Larry and Taylor through my husband. You know, if any of the wives are maybe watching right now, you never trust your husband, right? When he comes to you with things, well, I know I didn't, because Ray loves personal development. He has probably listened to, read, and introduced me to every single podcast, book, training that there is with regards to personal development. And I was like, I'm going to be honest, not another thing. And, you know, we were doing all right with our company. We were doing okay, as we put it. And when he came to me with this new thing, I was like, oh no. But one day I was driving in the car, and I always say to Ray that this was actually a little secret. I thought, okay, I'm going to listen. I started to listen to the audio, and I listened to Employ Yourself in the car, because I'd been kind of listening at the background when Ray had things on. And I remember, you know, Larry always saying, you know, go to the millionairetraining.com and listen to Employ Yourself. So I was in the car one day, and I just found myself laughing at myself listening to this audio, because I was like, this is me. This is me to a T, as in when your friends come down, you have a week off and you don't go to work at all. You know, all those parts that you think, you know, am I working my business like a job? Am I working harder at my job than I am actually at my own future? So what I'm actually going to touch on tonight is actually that chapter in the book. Okay, so hopefully everybody has got the Millionaire Training book, and the chapter is the Employ Yourself one. And for me, the things that really stuck out to me was, you know, the crutch, okay, the mental crutches. So splitting the personality, you know, Larry 1, Larry 2, Jocelyn 1, Jocelyn 2. One's the boss, one's the employee. And am I letting myself off too much? You know, ask yourself that tonight, guys. How serious are you taking your future? Because the impact that these simple basics that Larry and Taylor actually have put into place have, for us, completely changed our business. As I said before, we were doing okay with regards to our network marketers business, but there was always a new thing. There was always a new thing coming in, and it would be like, oh, something else we've got to learn. And I found it was getting very complicated, especially when new people were coming on. And that's what I loved about Larry and Taylor. It's all about the basics. You don't need to know more to do more. You could start today, and you could start to build an income right now with what you have in yourself. So when you're going to your business, have a think. Am I going to work? Am I showing up each day? Have I made a commitment to myself with how many pennies I'm going to move each day? Okay. And if you're brand new today, pennies, it's how many people are you going to talk to and invite to your opportunity, your products, the opportunity, wealth building. How many people are you going to talk to each day? Are you doing that on a regular basis, or are there some days where you forget or you don't show up? Because that was me. So this is why when I was listening to the audio, especially in the car and reading the book, I was like, this is me. This is so, like, parts of it. I was like, it's like you know, when you think they're talking to me. You're sitting in a training maybe, and someone's talking to you. You're like, they're talking to me. And that's exactly what I was feeling when I read this chapter. You know, what else did I pick out? Your habits are what equates to your income. So changing those habits. You know, you've built up habits over time, and then we need to change them to change your current circumstances. You know, I didn't get into, and I love the part when Larry's like, you didn't get into this to just do okay. That's the thing. We didn't. For some reason, we wanted more, and that's why we're all here, because we want more. So I wrote down just a few bits to maybe for you guys to think, are you doing these? Have you kind of set yourself up and employed yourself? So what talk have you had with yourself? Have you had that talk about, you know, what do I want out of this? Am I really going to go to work with it? What time do you start each day, and what time do you finish? How many days a week are you going to say that you're going to maybe talk to people? How many pennies do you want to move per day? And make a realistic amount. Don't say I'm going to talk to 30 and one day you do 30 and the next day you do none. It's all about that consistency. So actually, to start with, the smaller is the better. And commit to yourself to make an amazing impact on for you and your own family, because this is what this opportunity and Larian Training's ABC model really gives you: a simple training and structure that you can follow to make a massive impact for your own family. So that's just a few bits that I picked out really from Employ Yourself. Hope that was useful. Do you want me to bring on Sarah now, or are you going to go back to...
We can go back to her in a second. I just want to touch on some of the points that you've made, Jocelyn. And I see we have lots of new people here. So first and foremost, guys, welcome. You have made a great decision to be here for the next hour, because this is going to help you realize that the network marketing industry, in my opinion, is the greatest industry in the world. And you have got at your hand incredible resources. So what I want you to do, and if someone can type it into wherever you're watching this, the comment section, I want you to go on to the millionairetraining.com. And I want you to download the free chapter, which is exactly what Jocelyn is talking about. It's how to employ yourself. And I think what's so valuable about this chapter is it's going to open your eyes to a whole new world, just like she said.
And I think one of the things that downfalls we've noticed over the years is people come into network marketing with the employee mindset, where they're used to getting paid whether they do a little or they do a lot at the end of the week. But network marketing, it doesn't work like that. You get paid on how good and how well you work. So if you want to do better, you've got to do more. And sometimes we need that sort of little reminder that we're the employer, we're going to get paid on performance, not on if we show up or not.
And I think, for anybody that hasn't heard our story before, hopefully it might inspire you to realize that where you are today does not dictate where you're going to be in a few months from now. Because we started this industry to earn an extra 200 euros a month. I was a school teacher, Seamus was a carpenter, but financially we were in a bad way. But we're two introverts. So when you probably look at us, you think they're super confident. And I believe that this industry has helped us grow in confidence, but it was not always that way. The people you see today are just a few chapters ahead of where you currently are. And that 200 euros extra a month was going to take the pressure off. Because, and I'd love to know in the comments, the only arguments we used to have at home was over money.
And the lack of it.
Exactly, the absolute lack of it. And we were in a situation where our child got sick one evening and we did not have the money to take him to the doctor. I had to ring my parents and ask them for a lend of money. And that is not something that you want to do after, getting married. I'd gone through college for 4 years. I'd been working for 7 years in a school, and here we were in this position, and we realized that something needed to change. But you may be watching this tonight and you mightn't have actually grasped this industry because maybe you're looking at a lot of different people. Well, what I would say is if you're here, you're meant to be here, and I would put your blinkers on and I would focus on what Larry and Taylor teach you.
And give it 90 days, like what we did when Larry and them introduced this to us. We give it a full 90 days. We didn't have success straight away with it. No. We give it, that's why they do it for 90 days. And at the end of the 90 days, it completely transformed our business. We've had more success, plus we work less hours.
And we were in massive momentum when we actually joined the Wealth Building Academy, essentially. And we went to a few people in our team and we said, this is the approach we want to go. And you may be asking yourself, well, if you're in massive momentum, why would you even think about looking at another way? The reason that we were very open to this was because we were getting burnt out. So we had massive success our first year in business and we wanted to earn 200 euros a month. Well, in 10 days, we'd made 1,000 euros a month. And within 11 months in our company, we'd reached the top position, not once, but twice, the two of us. So our skill set didn't match and we didn't have a clue how we'd achieve this level of success. So we realized, okay, we need to start getting coaches and we need to do this and we need to do that. And we started spending more time learning when in fact, The reason that we'd had that massive success is because we did our job description every single day.
It's employ yourself.
How to employ yourself. When we achieved that €1,000 in those first 10 days, that lit a fire in us, because we had €1,000, guys, that we hadn't, there was no, like, it was able to pay bills, but normally my teaching wage, it was all gone before we ever even, came into the bank. We already knew where it was going to go. And we realized that, oh my goodness, if we can do €1,000, what could we possibly do in a couple of months from now? And all we did every single day was what Larry teaches. What we get paid to do is onboard customers and onboard team members. We didn't get sidetracked by the amount of people that said no. We didn't get sidetracked by the people who came and the people who left. We had literally blinkers on, and that is all we did. And then what happened is we stopped doing that. Don't ask us why, but out of probably sheer ignorance, you get excited, you're earning all of this money, your business is booming, you're getting recognition from your company, and you stop doing what made you successful in the first place. And when we came across Larry and Taylor at an event, I just loved everything they stood for. And we've always believed that when you're looking for someone to take advice from, you want someone who's walked in the shoes that you want to walk in. You don't want someone who's talking about, they're going to show you how to do this, they're going to show you how to do that. I want to see, what have you done? So Larry took his company from 1 million, at 1 million a month, to over 100 million in 4 years. Like, that's unheard of.
Incredible.
So we knew that if there was ever anyone to show us how to simplify our business, because we had systems for everything. So when you hear Larry talking about systems, we had systems for everything. We had predictive text. We had groups for this, groups for that. We had a message for this person, a message for that person. But it was only a certain amount of people that were winning. And what you will understand is, if you really embrace his teachings, is when you're walking down the street, if you're walking past someone who's selling fruit and veg, you literally should be able to get them started there and then. Because what are they going to do? They're going to use your product, and they're going to talk to people about what it's doing for them and what it's doing for others. The taxi man, he's meeting people every single day. He's going to use the products and he's going to talk to people. So we had got into this bubble where we felt the only way to be successful was social media. And social media is the most incredible tool. And don't get me wrong, we use it every single day and we encourage our team to use it. But the first thing you want to do is your job description, is reaching out to people. And that is what this chapter teaches you. It's, what is your numbers? What is your non-negotiables? And what is your no matter what? Because we can get sidetracked by the shiny things, by doing the lovely cover photos, by putting up the beautiful posts, by spending hours, perfecting our stories. And that's amazing. Do it after you've done your reach outs, after you've asked people, are they open to taking a look at what you do? And that is what you will learn if you start following the book club and joining the academy, because Jocelyn touched on it. Larry and Taylor have the ABC, the three-legged stool. So what is that? A is the academy, B is the book, C is the club. This is the club you're on. The next step, if you don't have it, is you want to purchase the book. And the third step is the academy, and it is where everything comes to life.
And what I love about their teaching is it's all done through stories. I don't know if anybody's like me, if somebody's telling me facts and figures, I forget it. But when they teach through stories, like Larry has in the book, it's all stories. You can remember it. And what I love about the book, and I didn't really understand it, it's when you read the book once, you pick it up. When you read the book twice, you pick it up. And it's not the book has changed, it's you have changed. You have become so much aware of the first time you've read it. The second time, your awareness is even higher, and you pick up things that you missed completely in the second book because you weren't ready to read them.
So what you want to remember is Jocelyn's story tonight. She was a fitness professional, but she did not want to be trading time for hours. So when you're speaking to someone who is in the same industry as them, you can tag them in this. You can share Jocelyn's story, and that they will have that instant connection because they're going to relate to her pain points.
As Taylor says, have a briefcase of stories that you can share with everyone.
Absolutely. So enough from us for the minute. We're going to hand it back to Jocelyn, and Jocelyn's going to bring up Sarah. So we're going to leave the stage for a while, and we're going to hand it over to you, Jocelyn.
Thank you. So we are going to bring up tonight the lovely Sarah. I'm not going to tell you Sarah's story because Sarah's going to share exactly how she got started and the impact that it has made on her so far. So Sarah, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect. I've got the mic bit right. Hi guys, my name's Sarah. I live in Bournemouth. I'm a part-time dental nurse and mum of two. So I really got started in network marketing through sheer desperation. I couldn't afford my bills at the end of every month. I was about £200-300 short. And when I laid everything out, I looked at it all and realised I just wouldn't be able to afford the birthday presents, Christmas presents, without getting into debt. And that's always been like not an option for me. And so I was really panicking. And I just grasped the opportunity to move forward within network marketing. I realised it was my only way. I couldn't work anymore because I would have to pay for childcare, so I wouldn't be any better off at the end of every month. It's a bit like Taylor says, that mum care versus child like daycare. So I just went for it. I knew it was my only option. So that was all great, and I got going with it, and I did earn the £200-300 a month that I needed to earn, a little bit more actually. But I knew that I wanted a bit more. I knew that I didn't just want to be okay at the end of every month. I wanted to have a bit more so that I could take the kids on nice holidays. I just didn't have to worry at all. But this is where I got a little bit stuck, and I think this, for me, coming back to what Larry and Taylor have done for me, this is where it all starts really, because I just found that they talk about the rocks in your rucksack, and I had so many in there, and there was like you were saying, Mary and Seamus, this group and that group, and now we're going to launch this and we're going to do that, and this target and that. And my brain was just fried. And although it's great in one way, because it gives you the inspiration when you look at the bigger numbers, and it's kind of what kept me around the fire in one sense. But that's all it was. I would have that. I don't know if anyone can relate to this, where when you get on a call or something and you get that inspiration of like, yeah, and then but you have nothing to work with, so you actually don't do anything, and that was my problem. So what the academy has taught me, and what Larry and Taylor have taught me, is basically the 6 things that I need to know and that I need to do. And in me just focusing and homing in on them, I now have the confidence, which is what I didn't have before. So I know it all comes back to the same thing. I don't have to worry about anything else. Jocelyn and we've got like a great little structure that just works for us. And it's so simple that I know I can duplicate it, because when I brought in some team members, what I was doing, how I was running around like a madwoman, to try and hold everything together, I was like, well, I can't expect my team member to do this, because that's not going to work for him or her. And I actually physically didn't know how to tell them what to do. And I felt like I was saying, well, all you need to do is write a list and get some people. But I wasn't doing that, because I found that hard. So I think just being able to use the structures that they put in place has helped me so much. And I'll be honest, guys, I didn't use the academy to start with. I joined and I didn't use it. And I didn't use it because I felt like it was just, like Jocelyn said, another one of those things. And it wasn't until I realised that I was clearly missing out on something that I really got into it. And I'm so glad I did. And now I literally don't even look at targets. I don't look at anything. I literally focus on the pennies that I'm going to move every day. And I've set myself, and Taylor said, meet yourself where you're at. And I was like, okay, I really need to be honest with myself and meet myself where I'm at here. I move 1 penny a day right now. 1. That is it. That is what I've set myself. And that works for me. And some days I move 3 pennies, some days I move 4, but I set myself 1, because I know I can do 1. And then when I've done 1, that's great. I've done my 1, and I tend to move more. If I set myself 5 or 6, I know I probably won't do it. So as time goes on, I will probably increase that. But it's just about, I enjoy what I do now. I don't worry. I know the structure. I just enjoy it so much more, and I'm so much happier, and I have so much more confidence, and that is honestly because of Larry and Taylor and the academy. So yeah, I think it's great. Hope that's okay.
Sarah, I absolutely loved listening to that, and you said it yourself. The confidence I've even seen in you speaking tonight.
I would never
No.
have even got on I would never have even spoken a little group that around people that I'd been around for a long time. I wouldn't have done it. So yeah.
So Sarah's actually been in network marketing. She's actually one of my early team members, and like I said, to see her speak about the rocks, I'm sure lots of people can relate to that, rocks in the backpack. But the difference, and you know, the two things that stood out for me, which Sarah said, was the confidence she's now found, because all she has to do is her job description each day. That there's nothing else that she has to think about to complicate, but also duplication, and that is so important within our business. To have something which is easy duplicated, and I'm sure, you know, all the different companies that are on here can again relate to that they've struggled with the duplication, and this is where Larry and Taylor make it so simple to do that. You know, with the structure, you're spending less time trying to train your team, because there's always a factor, you know, the audio part on the deep dives, which people relate to, that you can then send people to. So it frees up our time as well. And I know Sarah is a single mum. The time is precious. So I absolutely love that, Sarah. Amazing, and a massive well done for speaking out.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are very welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. So we're going to bring back Mary and Seamus, and we have another amazing guest coming up. So don't go anywhere, guys. Over to you, Mary and Seamus.
Absolutely incredible. I love your honesty, and guys, show her. You can go back, Sarah, you're going to see all of the love. So many people are saying that you've really inspired them, that they love your story, that you are enough. And one thing that you said, you know, was about you'd all these different things in place, and we had that, but it was exhausting because you were always looking at what someone else was doing, thinking, what's their secret? And what are they doing differently?
And I always remember somebody said to us, could you keep doing what you're doing if you had a team of 10,000 people? And what we were doing, there is no way we could have had a team of 10,000. But what Larry and Taylor teach, you could have a team of 100,000 people and it would not take any, because you're not the one lifting the weights. Exactly. Your team are lifting their own weights.
And I love how you said that you're moving 1 penny at the minute, and you are going to be so far ahead than most people, because most people are moving no pennies. Like I said, they're doing all the nice fancy stuff, but if you're wondering why you're not getting more customers or why more people aren't joining you, I urge you to think about how many people have you spoken to today? How many people did you speak to yesterday, the day before that, and the day before that? If you were to show me your calendar, and we could very quickly realize that there's just the slightest change that you need to make. You just need to do your job description each and every day, and it will change the game. But be committed to it. Have that willingness that you're going to have that no matter what attitude, that every day you're going to do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will all depend on what you and your life circumstances are.
And the thing is, I love about the community and the academy is, like, we're not even in the same team as Jocelyn and Sarah. We're not even in the same company. There's very few in the industry that are doing this, that are having completely different companies working together in sync, sharing ideas. It's incredible what Larry and Taylor are creating.
And absolutely phenomenal. And I think that it takes the pressure off. So you actually enjoy this so much more because you're not getting frustrated. If you're in a place where you feel frustrated at the minute because you're not where you want to be, you need to become part of this academy, because it will change the game for you. It will open your eyes to a whole new world. It will simplify it, and it will make you realize that you were complicating it and you were giving yourself another job. And that's not what this is. So we're going to bring on our special guest. She is relatively new to the network marketing profession, and she is an incredible mom to 2 beautiful kids. And I guess Lucy just started preschool this week, so it was a big deal for her, and Donna was able to be present for that. Donna worked in the corporate world for years, and due to COVID, things changed, and you're going to hear from her exactly how she got involved in this industry, what her initial thoughts were, and what's happened for her and her husband in such a short space of time. So this will really create a vision for you for what's possible when you have the willingness and desire to give this 100%. So Donna, we're so excited to hear from you tonight.
Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure to be here to talking to everybody. So yeah, I started in network marketing very reluctantly. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't the person that went out looking for it. I wasn't the person that was excited about it and eager to get started. I was the complete opposite. I was terrified, absolutely terrified. I was working full-time at the time for a company that expected me somehow to reinvent the wheel every single day of the week. And it didn't matter to them that I was set up to do it from home with 2 young children. They wanted it done, and that was the end of it. So stress levels were through the roof. And it was Mike Kevin that came to me with this. And I will never forget it. I remember looking at him and giving him this, and Mary, you'll know what I'm talking about. I gave him this death stare, and it was like, you have got to be kidding me. I am already working 50 hours a week. I've got 2 kids under my feet, and you're coming at me with this. I don't even know what this thing is, but I was so reluctant to even listen to him that he used to have these excited conversations with his friend that introduced him to the business. And he'd go off into a little corner of the house where I couldn't hear him and have these really excited conversations, because if he had them in front of me, I was like, I'm going to throw you out of this house. I'm just going to throw you out of this house. So I reluctantly then agreed to have a listen in. I was like, okay, I'll have a listen in. And we did. And I learned about the business a small bit, just a small little bit. I didn't need to learn what was going to happen in 6 or 7 months' time, just what was going to happen maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And I still very reluctantly and still very, very nervously said yes to this opportunity. I was then made redundant from my job the very next day. And we knew it was coming. I had learned about it about 6 or 8 weeks prior. And we were in a situation whereby Kevin's in the army, and he was also a DJ on the weekends. And because obviously of COVID and all the entertainment industry closing down, he lost all those gigs. So we lost a very, very big chunk of our income. And it was something that we heavily relied on. Since I met Kevin, obviously we had worked 2 full-time jobs, and he had this side income as well. So all of our bills and everything were all, around those 3 incomes. So now we're down to 2 incomes, which is myself and Kevin's full-time. And then I'm going to be made redundant. So stress levels were high. Worrying about money was very, very high. We had already turned to my mum for quite some time to help us with our mortgage when Kevin lost the DJ gig. So to know then we were going to lose my full-time income, we just didn't know what we were going to do or where we were going to turn to. So I decided to give this a try. I was like, well, you're desperate. So, someone's knocking on your door with this, you'd be a fool to turn it away. So I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was very, very willing to learn. And I so desperately wanted to be able to change our circumstances and get rid of some of that stress. So we said yes. And very, very soon, it just snowballed. It just blew up and it took off. And I still can't get my head around it. We're 7 months now, just gone 7 months actually, in the business. And we are in a position now whereby I made a vision board for myself, and I've always worked full-time. I've worked full-time since I was 16, 17 years of age. And when my son was 6 months old, I had to return to full-time work. And I was very lucky that my mum agreed to take him from me, but it was only supposed to be for a short time. But then Bills had other ideas. And then I went on to have Lucy, and we did try the whole stay-at-home parent thing for a while. And again, it wouldn't work. So I was in a situation whereby I couldn't be at home with my children. I had to work. I just had to. And when I went into this business and I was made redundant on the 29th of January, on my vision board, I stuck a very, very large, and it's on my fridge, a very, very large out of office sign. my goal, I reset my goals every month, and every month this one goal remains the same, and it will continue to remain the same. And that is that I can keep my virtual out of office on, so that I can be here at home for the first time in my children's lives with my children, that I don't have to hand them, even if it is my mom, I'm their mother. So I get to be at home with them now because of this business. My virtual out of office has remained on since the 29th of January. And we are doing very well in the business. And the reason we're doing that, and this is what so excited me about this book, and it's actually gas when I say this, is that on the second Monday in August, I had no idea who these people were. I had no idea who these people were. And I remember, Mary, you actually introduced me to this book in your Wake Up and Win morning. And I ordered, you read 2 chapters out of it, and the last couple of sentences in the very first chapter, Larry had me. The very first chapter, the last couple of sentences, he had me, and he said something that resonated with me so strongly that the last few sentences actually upset me when you read them. And it was that it doesn't make a difference about who you are or your background or your age or your education level. And the reason I always felt so strongly about that was because I don't have an education. I left school when I was 14 years of age. I have no education. And every job I've ever walked into, I've always been, really gutsy. And I've walked in and I've said, look, on paper, I don't have the things that you're looking for, but give me 2 weeks. Just give me 2 weeks. And if you're not happy with me after 2 weeks, I'll shake your hand and I'll leave. And I've never been in that situation. They've always kept me. But my downfall with that is I work myself to the bone to prove to these people that they made the right decision in keeping me. But now what I do with this and this business is that same determination or that same will and want to prove to these people that I am worthy of them giving me this job. I tunnel that into my business and I apply myself in that way for me, not for someone who's employing me to do the work for them while they reap the benefits. I channel all of that now, and that determination and that drive and that want to succeed, I drive that into my business every day. I move 20 pennies a day, every day. And then I do the fancy stuff on Instagram and Facebook. And the reason for that is because I know without moving the pennies, that out of office will not stay on. It's not the fancy stories that's going to keep my out of office on. It's moving the pennies and it's having the conversations. It's showing up every single day and doing my basic job description. If you went into your own job tomorrow and you didn't do your job description, would you put your hand out for your wages on Friday? You would. Would you be seriously cheeky about it? So you can't expect to come into this and for it to fall into your lap. You have to be willing to work at it. And it's not a hard job to work. It just takes a bit of education in wanting to move forward with yourself. So every day I move the pennies. Every day I'm reading something from this. I can't even pick a favorite chapter. I've scribbled notes upon notes trying to find my favorite chapter. And I mean, so much jumps out at me that the whole chapter on the death of a salesman is just absolutely fantastic. The whole lot, where's my, look, I have more notes over here. But
Donna, can I ask you a question? So there's so many golden
wow,
nuggets.
What a story, guys.
So many golden nuggets.
You should see the comments you're getting, Donna, is incredible.
You can read them after, but like you said, just first and foremost, how many team members, how many people in your organization do yourself and Kevin have at this point in time?
56.
56 people in their team. And what you need to realize is there's nothing missing in you. If you're on this call and you can't get any team members, you can change that. Donna's willingness and her desire is right up here. Herself and Kevin give this 100%.
They have an incredible work ethic.
You can see they have an incredible work ethic. But what I love about this business and this industry is exactly what Donna has shared, that it's not that Donna has more time than you. It's not that Donna has more contacts than you. It's not that Donna's better than you. It's that Donna's doing her job description every single day. Why? Because her desire is to stay at home, to keep that out of hours on her fridge so that she is mom, that nobody else is being mom to her kids. And the thing that you need to remember is you may not have that same desire And that is okay. What Larry and Taylor will do is they will make you realize that you don't need to have that huge desire.
And your desire can change. Like Larry and
100%.
Taylor talk about 80, 15, and 5. Your desire level can fluctuate between 5, 15, and 80, depending on your life circumstances.
And you can change everything overnight if you're willing to do what Donna has done. She doesn't move 10 pennies a day. She moves 20 pennies a day. So obviously, the more people you speak to, the greater the chances of you having success is. And if you listen to Larry says the best of the best. For every 10 people you speak to, 2 people will be interested in learning more. For every 10 people that are interested in learning more, 2 people will join. For every 10 people that join, 2 people may do something. So this is what you need to realize. It's not that you're failing. It's not that this isn't for you. It's not that you've lost your excitement. It's that get in the thick of it. Start speaking to people.
And the thing is, as Donna talked about, it's incredible. Like, nobody asked her, what's your degree?
No.
What's your education? You're not going to join our business because you haven't got a good education. She joined and she felt appreciated. And this is what has happened. This is what happens when people join the business and they're made feel appreciated. They will go to work.
And Donna's getting paid her worth now. Because before, like she said, she was working herself to the bone to prove that she was good enough. The network marketing profession is going to reward people like Donna in crazy amounts. And the best part is she's going to help so many more people. And that's what you need to realize as you're watching tonight. There are people waiting for you to connect with them.
Just like Donna.
Just like Donna, but only you can be that connection, because I'm never going to find them. Donna's never going to find them. Sarah's never going to find them. Jocelyn's never going to find them. They're waiting for you. But as long as you're in your head, you're dead. You need to start leading with your heart. Think on these stories that you've heard tonight. They are so powerful. Think about us having 0 savings, being almost, Seamus was 30 at the time, had his business, had to have it closed down. I was a teacher and we had no savings, having to go to our parents when our child got sick. This profession has changed everything for us, and it can do that for you too. But you've got to be willing to take action. And that's what will create your belief. Taylor talks about this all the time. If you're saying, I don't believe in me, okay, well, how are you going to change that? By taking action. If you've never given anything 100%, give it to this industry. Stop looking left, stop looking right. Get those blinkers on. Get into the academy. Start metabolizing the 6 pillars. Start understanding how to speak to people.
Don't read the book once. Read it 5, 10, 20 times.
It's incredible what will happen. You and the impact that you'll make. Like, Donna, it's amazing what you and Kevin have done. It's phenomenal. But how does it feel when your team members are winning?
We actually get more excited about that than we do about our own. Myself and my very first team, we hit promotions on the same day, and I didn't realize I had hit mine because I was so caught up in his excitement and the phone call that I made to him to tell him that he had done it. We were down to like the last 24 hours and he'd done it, and I was so excited. And it wasn't until an hour or 2 later that the person who introduced me to the business rang me and said, have you not heard the news? And I was like, what? And they're like, you're after getting your promotion as well. So of course I rang the teamie back again to tell them, and the 2 of us are jumping around like 2 lunatics, but it's the most rewarding feeling ever. And we have some people now on our team that I have known personally a long, long time. And we have people on the team that we've never met before. And when they're all reaching promotions, it doesn't matter whether I know this person 10, 20 years or whether I only know them through social media. When I can give these people the opportunity to do what I've done, or my goal is not their goal, even if their goal is €200 a month because they want to get a little car on the road, whatever it is, when they start achieving that, I know what that means to them. And it is the most rewarding thing that I have ever done in my life. And it spurs me on. When they hit that promotion, I'm like, okay. And it makes me want to reach out to more and more people, because I think that more and more people deserve a chance like this. Like, if that person never had the conversation with me and my Kev, I don't know where we would be now. I genuinely don't know. I would be working. I know that. I'd be back again to slogging a 9 to 5 and trying to prove me worth to somebody else. And my children would be maybe with my mom. She's getting a bit older now for that. Maybe with a childminder. So that you owe it. You owe it to people to reach out to them. And one thing that I want to say to you is, don't ever judge. Don't ever look at someone on your social media platform or a neighbor or a college friend or anybody and think that because they wear nice clothes or they go to nice restaurants that they don't need this. Maybe they don't need it for the money. Maybe they need it for the growth aspect. I'm a completely different person now than I was when I joined this business 7 months ago. When I joined this business, I was absolutely crippled with anxiety, could barely answer my phone sometimes. And I mean, what this business, what the community has done for me, never mind financially, mentally, emotionally, it's just been the most amazing thing. So reach out to people. It doesn't have to be from the financial aspect. Give them the opportunity to be part of something amazing, to be part of this amazing community that we are all in together. Let them feel this. Let them have that support and something amazing in their lives, because what we have, it really is amazing. It really is.
You're making me emotional.
Incredible.
Amazing, Donna. Thank you so much. Amazing story. I can't wait for you to go and read the comments. I have no doubt that this is not going to be the last time that you will be on this club. Next time you'll be interviewed by the one and only Larry Taylor. But thank you so much for sharing tonight.
Thank you for having
everybody on. We can all say goodbye.
Yeah. So Jocelyn, how amazing has this been?
Like fantastic, those stories. Donna, like wow, like Mary and Seamus said, you know, all different companies, but listening to your story, absolutely amazing. And I wish you the best of luck with the future in network marketing, because you are going to do amazing things.
Incredible, guys. So for Larry and Taylor, why not in the comments claim how many pennies are you going to move between this week and next week? Okay, let's see how many people we're going to impact. Don't be addicted to the result or the outcome. Be addicted to the action. That's the secret. Just take the action. The results will come. Keep it simple, keep it magical, and watch what will happen. We can't wait for so many of you to be interviewed on here, sharing your story, because you have a story that other people need to hear. But if you're not sharing it, we'll never get that opportunity.
And this is only a small snippet. If you want the really good stuff, make sure you become a part of the Academy, because that's where the really good stuff happens.
So just a reminder, go on to the www.themillionairetraining.com, download How to Employ Yourself. Jocelyn gave us an amazing summary of that chapter. If you haven't got the book, I urge you, on your next paycheck, invest in you by ordering this book. Make it a gift that you give team when they reach promotions, because this will keep people around the campfire. This will keep people loving what they do. This will keep people on the straight and narrow. And as always, as Larry and Taylor always says, their method behind this is they want to help you grow so you can grow your team, so you can grow your check, so you can grow your company. But it all starts with you. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight. Make sure that you do comment. Let us know how many pennies you're going to move. What impact are we going to have as one community over the next week? And we will see you all next week. You'll have Larry and Taylor back with some more amazing stories next Friday. Have an amazing weekend. We appreciate you all. And thanks again to our incredible storytellers, Donna and Sarah, and the beautiful hostess with the mostest, Jocelyn. Have an amazing weekend. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.